horror stories live in every shadow, and tonight 10 of them weave together like threads in a single nightmare, each darker than the last, beginning with the haunted house at the edge of town. A house that seems to breathe, though it has been abandoned for decades. Its windows cracked like broken eyes staring out across the street, and still, neighbors swear they see faint lights moving from room to room at midnight. Lights too soft to be electricity, too alive to be reflections, as though someone is walking inside with a candle. And when curious souls dare to step beyond the gate, the air turns strangely cold. Their breath fogs though the night outside is warm. The floorboards groan not under their own weight, but as if something beneath the wood is shifting, listening, waiting, and upstairs, in a hallway that smells of damp wood and iron, they find walls covered in long, deep scratches like claws dragged through plaster, and written in jagged letters across the wall are the words, "Don't let it out," words that make no sense until the door slams behind them. The handle rattles violently on its own, and from the corner of the room comes a whisper so faint, it sounds almost like a sigh, a whisper that grows louder with each heartbeat until the visitors realize it is not one voice but many, layered on top of each other. All whispering at once, all whispering their names. Then there is the whispering room, an ordinary bedroom by day, but when the lights are out, the silence never lasts. For the darkness fills with soft, scattered voices, voices that seem to crawl out of the walls and hover around the bed, at first only muttering, then repeating your name slowly, clearly, as if trying to coax you into answering, and those who stay inside too long begin to lose track of which thoughts are theirs, and which belong to the thing that lives in the room. They cover their ears, yet the whispers slide straight into their skull, echoing inside the mind, until even after they flee the house, the voices follow them for the rest of their lives. On lonely highways, under the weight of endless night, travelers often report the same pale stranger standing at the roadside, a figure drenched in rain, shivering, one arm raised weakly in a desperate plea for help, and when the car slows, the figure vanishes, leaving behind only water on the road where no rain has fallen. Yet moments later, the driver glances at the mirror and sees the figure again, this time seated silently in the back seat, hair dripping, eyes hollow, breathing faintly against the glass, disappearing only when the driver dares to look back in terror and finds nothing there. Mirrors themselves hold darker truths, for many who have stared into them after midnight claim to see there. Reflections behave in ways their body does not, a head tilting when they remain still, lips curling into a grin though their own face remains frozen, and some insist they turned away from the mirror only to catch, in the corner of their eye, their reflection still standing there, watching with a face that no longer quite matches theirs, as if the thing inside the glass had grown impatient and was beginning to break free. Children often speak of invisible friends who play with them, who laugh softly at their jokes, who whisper secrets that no one else can hear. And while parents dismiss these stories as imagination, their comfort fades when the child begins to describe, with unsettling precision, the face of a relative who died decades before the child was even born, describing the wrinkles, the smile, the voice so perfectly it chills the entire family, especially when the child says their invisible friend promised to visit again, soon, but only at night. Phones too can carry terror, and countless people tell of the same experience. The phone ringing at midnight, a sharp, shrill tone cutting through the silence, and when they answer it is not a stranger on the line, but their own voice, speaking with a cracked, broken tone, sometimes begging them to leave the house immediately, sometimes warning them not to move, and sometimes laughing in a way that twists the stomach, laughter so sharp and jagged it feels like it cuts into the ear itself before the call cuts off with nothing but silence. Forgotten attics are no safer, for under the dust and cobwebs lie things, left behind by hands that never truly let go, trunks that creak open by themselves, their hinges squealing like screams, dolls with glassy eyes that shift ever so slightly when you are not watching, ropes tied to beams swaying gently, though the air inside is perfectly still. And sometimes, if you listen long enough, you can hear faint footsteps pacing just above the ceiling, though the attic floor is too weak to support any living weight. The Vanishing Hitchhiker is another tale told across countless towns. On stormy nights, drivers pick up a drenched young woman, pale and trembling, her voice soft as she gives her home address. And as the driver glances away for only a moment, the seat behind them grows cold, damp, empty. And when they arrive at the house, the family simply nods with tired eyes, explaining that the girl was their daughter who died years ago on that very stretch of road, and she has never stopped trying to come home. Hotels hide nightmares of their own, rooms where guests awaken in the dead of night to find all the furniture rearranged to face their bed. Mirrors cracked down the middle though they were whole before, and words scrawled across the walls in thick black smears that no one can read, languages no one can place. And when morning comes, the guests are gone without a trace, the bed still warm but empty, their belongings left neatly behind. And then there is the endless loop, the cruelest story of them all, for it tells of those who try to escape haunted places, running breathless toward the exit, bursting through the door into the open night, only to find themselves standing back inside the very same hallway they were fleeing, the same doors, the same flickering light overhead, the same whispers waiting in the dark. And no matter how many doors they push through or windows they smash open, they always end where they began, trapped forever in a story that has no end. These stories, whispered across generations, share the same truth that horror is never far, that silence is rarely empty, that shadows are not always harmless, and that the line between a tale and reality is thinner than you dare believe. So as you listen now, ask yourself one last time, are these just stories, or has one already begun to follow you?